Hey friends, I'm again with Bill Salier. Thanks, Bill, for coming.
It's a pleasure, Ray.
Principal of Youth Works College.
Yep.
Okay, another plug.
Thank you. Good.
Okay.
Keep plugging us. We need all the plugs we can
Tell me
get.
again, who can go to that college? Why would they want to go?
Anyone can go to Youth Works College who has the young at heart. People often think you have to be young, but
just young
our
at
older
heart.
students 80.
Okay.
So,
And where are you located?
We're located in Newtown. We also have a Year 13 program down at Loftus.
Great, fantastic. Now we're in John 15.
John
It's a very
15.
famous one, this one.
Great passage.
I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. Do you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, John 15 is a really interesting passage. Again, we spoke a little bit about in this farewell speech, where are you going and what about me? John 15 is what am I going to do while we're waiting? So we're waiting for Jesus to return. How do we live? He talks about three key relationships we have. One relationship with himself and the Father, second relationship with one another, third relationship with the world. And so he gives us these three kind of instructions as we live. And the way the illustration I use, I don't know if it's helpful, is like a baseball diamond. So we're standing there at home base, we're at home with the Lord and we're waiting to be at home with the Lord. Then we've got first base, relationship with God, second base, a relationship with one another, third base, a relationship with the world. Some Christians like to run to first base and stop. Okay, it's just me and God. Some people like run straight to second. It's all about other people, but you've got to go to second base through first. So we relate to God, we relate to others. No one wants to go to third base, but you've got to go to third base to get home. So that's kind of the thing. But anyway, so we're talking really about first and second base here, the relationship with Jesus and the relationship with one another.
Okay, so I mean, I know in the Old Testament the whole theme of the vine, Israel being the vine. Is there any link with that?
No, massive. And here we won't really understand why Jesus says he's the true vine unless we understand that background. So Israel is a vine that God has planted and tended, and he comes out and looks for fruit, no fruit. So what does he do? He cuts that vine down and becomes a picture of judgment as well as prosperity and God's care. So when Jesus says he's the true vine, he's really saying, I'm the Israel that was never possible. I'm the true Son of God. I'm the true people
Israel
of God.
Never was.
Israel never was. And so if you want to be part of what God has always been on about, the people of God, you need to be engrafted into me. So I'm not a gardener, I'm a hopeless gardener, but he uses the agricultural stuff all the way through as we go.
So
as does Paul.
He
talks about engrafted branches, So.
Now, there's some difficult bits about cutting off and burning, and just want to break that. And this is really also about union with Christ, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And a union in a really organic way, because again, he's talking about being. You can't do anything unless you're part of me. Apart from me, you can do nothing. You must be part of the vine. And so the warning is if you don't, and the key word is abide, you must remain or abide. And the way you remain or abide is by loving, obeying, and obviously staying in the word. And so I think the warnings there are severe. He cuts off every branch of me that bears no fruit. He does some pruning as well. It's kind of a violent metaphor there. But I think at the very least we can read it as a strong warning to stay. You talked about last time or a couple of times ago how he'll say something positively and then something negatively. So you must remain in me. If you don't, you'll be cut off. It's there. This often causes problems because people think, well, hang on, if you're a Christian, aren't you safe forever? But the New Testament consistently urges you in the light of your salvation to produce fruit. And so I take it those warnings the Spirit uses to prompt us to action as we go through. So we need to hear the warnings full bore, but we also need to hear the assurances equally strong.
And producing fruit that lasts. What's the fruit there?
Yeah, good point. In John's Gospel, the couple of times that he uses fruit earlier, he's clearly talking about other disciples. So the fruit of evangelism. I think the background to in the Israel kind of sense is the fruit that Israel didn't produce was righteousness. So I take fruit here quite broadly, rather than narrowly one way or the other.
You can almost go fruit of of the Spirit?
Yeah, and we're tempted to do that, but that's kind of Paul. But
Yeah,
but I think that's legitimate. That
Okay,
he's
right.
talking about fruitfulness in all sorts of ways.
Right.
But don't forget that fruitfulness as a Christian is multiplication. It's preaching the gospel and seeing others come in as we do that. And they're not unconnected, of course, because our good works are attractive. People will see them and give praise to our Heavenly Father. So I think it's a rich. I've got some friends that are pretty strict one way or the other, but I tend to go all of the above.
Sounds good to me. All of the above.
Yeah.
Okay, evangelise and live a godly life.
And live a godly life. Well, you know.
And as you live a godly life, people will see your light. And,
that's right. And they'll hear your words and away you go.
Yes, and then I want to come to the Jesus that drives your engine.
That's it.
Okay, well, remain in my love, says Jesus. Don't go anywhere else. For apart from Jesus,
You can do nothing.
we can do nothing. Have a great week.